If you are still clicking through the menus to build your node tree, you are wasting time. I wish I found videos like this when I started. By the end of the video, you'll be well on your way to create, edit, and manage node trees in a much faster and more efficient way. And if you stick around till the end, you'll learn how to create your own custom node. What? Hi, my name is Ali. I'm a Davinci Resolve trainer. On this channel, I share tutorials on Davinci Resolve, color grading, footage restoration, using the best tools and techniques. Before we get into these advanced tips, please make sure you've checked out part 1, where we cover the 5 basic nodes. Link in the description. Okay, so jumping into Davinci Resolve. So if you look, we have the simple node tree from our previous video. We have 5 nodes. We have exposure, ratio, white balance, and then curves and hue. If you notice the white balance, the third one, there's no properties added the way I tell because of these little icons. And if I hover over, it will take a second and then it will tell me what's been edited in that node. Okay, so what I can do is that, let's say I want to take the content of this node from this node to this one. So if I hold Ctrl and then I click and drag, you'll see we're actually swapping the content. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna take it from here to here. What's cool about this one is that you're not only swapping the edits, you're also swapping the label itself. That will keep your node organization intact, but the order of operation will change because we're using the control. Let's say for some reason, I'm gonna reset. Now you're gonna copy the content of this node tree to this node tree. So I'm gonna hit Alt this time, and then I click and drag, and then boom. So now I have 2 nodes that actually edits the exposure. See? Because we duplicated this one to this one. Obviously, you can change the label and also change the color. Okay, so the other thing, I use this trick a lot. Let's see, for whatever reason, you want to move this node, the exposure, around this area, for instance, to be between the white balance, which is empty for now, and then the curves. What you can do is that you click on the node and then you hit E, and then you go to where the connection is happening, and then you hover over it and you wait for the plus sign to appear. So once you do that, let it go. And now the order of operation changed completely. You can do it as many times you want, and this works really well. And I actually use this a lot if I'm gonna change the order of operation, or if I have a mask that I wanna use. It's a bit tricky, but as long as you get that plus, see, even when I tried it in a very small area, as long as you get the plus, it's connecting. It helps a lot as a visual guide. So I'm gonna do cleanup node graph, and then see it works. So you don't have to really make space for it. As long as the plus sign shows up, you can let it go and it will work. Okay, I'll do it again here in a very small place. Boom. Clean up, and then it works. So it happens a lot when you have a bunch of parallel nodes usually, or a bunch of nodes that you want to cluster to kind of keep your node tree clean, or to make some space, a node workspace. So what you can do, you can click and drag all the nodes, and you can right click, and then you can choose create compound node. Okay, clean up node tree. The cool thing about this now, it's like it's a nesting effect. So the compound, the actual node, if you want to access them, they live a level underneath. And the way I know that is that by double clicking them, now you're going to get some sort of a path. So see, this is the actual project or timeline, and then underneath it, the compound node, and we only can access the compound nodes separately. If I want to go back to my original node tree, I can use this navigation menu, and I can double click, and then I can go back here. Okay. This is a very neat feature. They added in Resolve 20, I think, and it saves a lot of time, and I use it a lot. So it's really cool to kind of keep your node tree clean and navigate the nodes back and forth. Obviously, you saw me doing this a lot. I'm gonna do, if you right click and then you do clean up node graph, you're gonna realign the nodes. And then the other thing is that if let's say you're zoomed in, okay, I'm gonna click Alt and then use the wheel to zoom in and out. What you can do, you can right click and then zoom to window. Okay, I noticed that some colorists, what they like to do, let's say I'm gonna hit Shift S to create a bunch of serial nodes before this node. So they like to kind of have something like some organization like this. If you use the cleanup, let's say this is organized by whatever standard. If you do cleanup, it's gonna ruin your organization. Okay, so keep that in mind if you really particular about organizing the nodes. Cannot use this cleanup one. Okay, let's say in another scenario we're actually not working on this timeline, so we're working off of a different timeline and we saved a bunch of stills to kind of borrow the looks from that. This happens a lot, so let's pick this as our timeline. Okay, if we go to gallery and I'm gonna choose this one from another of my videos. Obviously if you hover over it, will apply that node tree. It looks hideous since this doesn't match on any level. Okay, or if I right click and choose display node graph, so it shows you the node tree available. You get them on different levels. On this one I have only 2 levels, the clip level and the timeline level. I don't have anything in the timeline that's empty. If I don't get that option, again you can use the slider. Okay, or you can make it more accessible by holding Alt and then zooming in and out by the wheel. Okay, what you can do once you have this set up and it lines up, let's say I like the work that has been done on this node tree, so I want to borrow some of those nodes to kind of paste them on this. So what you do is that there's a much simpler way. You just click and drag, and then boom, once the plus sign shows up, you let go, and then you apply it. There you go. I'm gonna take this node, boom, take this node, and boom. See, it works like magic. This is incredibly useful if you have like an OFX setup already on that node or something. You can literally click and drag those predefined nodes without redoing the work. The other thing you can do, obviously, if you guys want, I can make a video about these ones, all these options. But these gets to like the very sophisticated node trees, but we're kind of on a more beginner level. But if you want me to do a video about these ones, I'm happy to do it. So I'm gonna close this one for now, and then let's explore the other options we have here. So play still, apply grade. You can literally switch and swap the grade itself. Like once I do apply grade, it's gonna substitute whatever node tree I have there, and it's gonna apply the node tree that is that lives within this still. So I'm gonna try it for now, and then boom, see the node tree changed, but that's the node tree that comes with this still. So I don't want that. Then I Command Z. So in this example, let's say I have this amazing node tree or function or OFX, whatever. This is a work that has been done already, and it allows me to edit the inside of a mask and the outside of the mask separately using the outside node. And I don't want to replicate all this work, and I just want to have this node structure working in another still or another clip. Okay, so I'm gonna click and select grab still, and then I'm gonna jump to this node tree. It doesn't matter which node I'm selecting. All I need to do is I need to hover over this one. Now instead of display, I'm gonna do append. Look what's gonna happen. So how many nodes you have on this still, it's gonna add them towards the end of this node tree. For this case, we have the inside and the outside of the mask, and I can reset them or reset the adjustments for the exposure, and then I can reuse them again on this example. So it's really, really useful, and I use that all the time. Hopefully I didn't forget any of the crucial shortcuts that are useful for our case. But if you stuck around to this level, let me show you the custom node and how you can create it. Let's say this is your adjustments or look, whatever, and you want to have this transfer to other nodes without the copy paste and all of that stuff. What you can do is you can right click, and then you can add node, and then you can do save as shared node. This is the beauty of it. Okay, so since I already labeled it, if you notice, we get this kind of icon. I'm gonna try to zoom in. I get this icon added to it. See, it looks like a double arrow going from opposite directions, okay? And it's also locked by default, okay? If I jump, as long as I am in this timeline and in this project, it actually works within the project itself, or even across timelines. So if I go to this one, and then I'm gonna hit clean up node graph, what I can do is that I can select this node and then right click and then add node. And then look, these are my custom nodes, okay? And they can be accessed here. See, they added after the line, they added the custom node menu underneath the 5 nodes that ships with Davinci Resolve. So I'm gonna click that and see, this takes all the changes that were in the other node tree, okay? So what's really cool about this is that I can unlock it to be able to edit it, and I can make it red, okay? And then lo and behold, look, it's now red. So it's dynamic, so it changes across timelines, and once you change it on one, it will change on the other. Now the image is blue. Now we're switching the image to blue. I found this very useful for saving looks or having like a custom LUT that you want to be able to access without kind of like going to the LUT menu or like, you know, copy and pasting and all that stuff. It is so convenient. You can have it living here in the node menu and it's super useful. So there you go. I'm not lying. You can create your own custom node. Obviously, this works only on the serial nodes. It doesn't work on any other node. And I think it does what it says. And yeah, I don't feel like it has that many limitations. I know these shortcuts and tips can be overwhelming at times. I know this video is a little bit all over the place, but I tried to compile my best tips and tricks and kind of shortcuts that I use for nodes. So hopefully you guys will take advantage of that. And what worked for me is that I make a kind of a list and I pick, let's say in this video, I give you like 10 shortcuts or 10 tips. I try to focus on 2 and I try to memorize those and I try to use them often. And I kind of practice with them. So once they become a second nature, I try to move on to the other set of shortcuts. That depends on how much you grade and how you learn. But that trick worked for me. And if I try to learn everything at once, I get overwhelmed and I kind of miss them. But if I learn in increments, it works really well for me. Anyways, hopefully this video is useful for you guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. Please drop a comment below if you have any questions. I'm trying to always look around kind of YouTube or kind of my sphere and kind of fill the gaps in terms of like what video is missing or what topic is not really covered. So I try to kind of, you know, jump into that and try to kind of do my own version. So if you guys have any ideas for videos, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.